Keir Starmer says an incoming Labour Party would make spiking a specific criminal offence. Ministers have previously argued a specific offence for putting alcohol or drugs into someone else's drink without consent is unnecessary. Well, let's hear what he had to say a little bit earlier when he sat on the ITV sofa of this morning and spoke to Holly and Phil.
That will make it easier for people to come forward to report what's happened, easier to prosecute, but also raise awareness, I think, of what's going on.
This has been rejected by the government, saying that it was unnecessary.
I think they're wrong about that. There was a parliamentary committee looked at it and said we should have a specific offence because not many people are coming forward to say this has happened. And this is always difficult to come forward to explain. An awful experience to people you don't know is always difficult, so we need to make that easier for people. It will make it easier to prosecute it, but I also want to draw attention to it. I want people to be talking about it and knowing about this, because for every young woman who goes out, this will strike real fear into them. And for parents, my daughter's 12, so not older, but I'm already worrying about what, just in a few years, I can imagine myself sort of pacing the living room every time she's out worried.
Let's bring in on LBC News Dawn Dines, who's Chief Executive of the campaign group Stamp Out Spiking. Good to have you on the programme, Dawn.
Lovely. Thank you for having me on.
Now, you've advocated for a change in the law over the last 2 decades, so you must welcome those words from Keir Starmer.
I am so pleased to hear those words from Keir this morning. I really am. It's about time, unless the law is updated and we recognise spiking as a criminal offence, then the key emergency services are not going to be adequately trained. Nobody is going to be resourced to deal with this crime, including the day and the nighttime economy.
Unfortunately, though, for Sir Keir Starmer, and indeed on this particular policy, he's not in government. The Conservative government right now is not keen on changing the law.
No, we're still waiting to hear back, and because it's like, sort of election time and nobody can sort of speak publicly about stuff, it's just in limbo. And while we're sat here in limbo, by the way, we've got young men and young women, boys and girls, still being spiked on our streets every weekend.
And what information do you have about the numbers on this?
Well, when the numbers came out last year from the National Police Chief Council, it was quoted that there was just under 5,000 reports that had been recorded. 2 years before this became like, a sort of a bit more of a media sensation, we'd done a national survey and over 97% of victims didn't report this crime to the police. And when we delved into that, like Keir said, it's because people are embarrassed, they're ashamed. There's some sort of stigma where people feel that they're responsible, when the reality of it is people are being poisoned. We're doing the largest and most comprehensive research study with Cardiff University, and we are going to be finding out exactly where we're letting all these victims down. So, sorry, I've gone off tangent there a little bit about for young people, but if anybody has been spiked, or anybody, or you've witnessed a loved one being spiked, then please go to our website and fill in the survey. Then we've got that hard data. Then, like I say, that's when people are going to stand up and go, right, we need our bar staff trained. We need the guest security officers trained. We need street pastors, taxi drivers, the SIA. This is so important because it's lack of education on the signs, the symptoms. We need people to have an immediate call to action so they know exactly what to do at what time. These people can be the difference between a young person getting home safely or potentially gang raped. It's that important.
We will leave it there, but thank you for joining us on LBC News. Dawn Dines, CEO and founder of Stamp Out Spiking, proactively campaigning to protect and educate on drink spiking and other spiking-related issues.
This